Lynnette here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today I want to quickly share with you 6 tips, things that I've learned in my first year as a DIY micro locker. Stay tuned. Let me show you my do for the day. Look at these locks. Look at these locks. Locks on fleek. Locks on point. Yeah. Let's get into it. Number 1, about bunching. During your first year, during your entire first year, you want to braid and band when you wash. Braid and band, twist and band, just band with a lot of bands. Whatever you choose, you don't want to jump the gun too early with that. That is definitely a lesson I learned during my first year. My hair in the back started locking as early as 3 and 4 months in, like losing the twist pattern, the ends closing up. By 6 months, like the lower back of my head, which let me give you guys a 360 real quickly. I know that doesn't show much because my hair is up, but in the back, like you see in the front, you can see that loose hair is still pretty loose. Not in the back, no ma'am. In the back, for the most part, they are locked up, tied up. But anyway, so because I saw that, I jumped the gun and I started just braiding and banding the front, maybe skipping braiding and banding altogether at some points, and that was not a good idea. So I encourage people who are DIY micro lockers, for the first year, stick with braiding and banding. Once you get to your 1 year mark, then make an assessment whether you need to only braid and band half your head or not do it at all, or be free. But you know, don't jump the gun. And so I say that because throughout my head, but you know, especially right up in here, I have a lot of bunching, and I'm not talking budding only, I'm talking budding and bunching. And when you mix the two together, it can really tend to make your locks look lumpy. And so I've got a lot of lumpiness going on. A braid out is my favorite style because I can conceal the lumpiness and it just looks good. So that's number 1. Braid and band, twist and band, whatever, on wash day for an entire year. Number 2, lint. I know a lot of people in the videos that I've watched talk about lint picking and picking lint out of their hair, and lint being a major problem with locks, and I do recognize that it is. I will say I have not noticed in my first year being locked much of a problem with lint. Not with like a problem, a lint buildup where it's like embedded in the lock and it would have to be picked out. I haven't noticed that. And I think part of that is because I do dye my hair with a semi-permanent rinse every 3 months or so, 2 to 3 months, because the front of my hair gets so much gray and the rest of my hair is kind of like a 1B. It's like a dull, dark brown, grayish, black, dull type of color. And so that lack of sheen or whatever I don't like. So I don't just dye the front of my hair with the rinse. I do my whole head, and it's usually a jet black. So they say dyeing hair colors the lint and kind of helps conceal that. And so I'll do a 360 again, but in the little bit of attention that I have paid to the back of my head, I'm pretty sure I don't have a problem with lint. And so I guess if that's a lesson learned, number 1, I don't wear sweaters and stuff. Like, this is a sweater dress. It's not really the lint giving type of sweater. It's a pretty wide cowl neck. So usually if I'm gonna put something like this on, I'll do it while my hair is tied down or still in braids or in rollers, you know, with my bonnet on or something to cover my head. But it's rare that I wear a sweater or something like that. I wish I could say I tied my hair up really well at night, but I don't. My pillowcases are cotton. I have one sweater other than this sweater dress, and that sucker is something that will put lint in your hair. Let me go. Okay, here it is. So this, every time I wear this, I will notice pieces of lint in my hair. And so I don't wear it that often. I'm just, honestly, I'm not that into it. But if you stay away from stuff like that, I don't wear hats that would cause lint. I know there are some cute beanies and stuff that have silk lining. Maybe I can look into that because I do like hats, but I don't put stuff on my head that's going to leave lint. I don't wear, you know, other than this sweater dress, which I wear maybe 3 times a year. That sweater, you know, which I wear even less than I wear this dress. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe as much, maybe a little more, I don't know. My point is I avoid things that would, I intentionally avoid things that would add lint. Plus I dye my hair, and so lint has not been a big problem. I've had 1 or 2 locks where I've noticed some embedded lint, and you know, once I dye my hair, it just wasn't a big deal. So dyeing helps. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, the third thing that I've learned in my first year as a DIY microlocker is about shampoo. Let's see. I'm almost embarrassed to say this because I feel like everybody knew in the whole universe except me. But, I mean, even I knew, but I just didn't pay attention. So, before I locked my hair, I binged on everybody's DIY microlock videos, right? And a few sister lock videos, too. Like, I was trying to learn. And small traditional lock videos. But everybody was, like, diluting their shampoo. And I was just like, whatever. And I didn't do it. And I use some pretty thick shampoos too. Let me show you what I use. Okay, so the shampoo that I'm currently using is this Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil Strength and Restore shampoo. When I tell you the shampoo is as thick as molasses, like it's thick. Like it's thick. And so after using about 1/3 of the bottle, it occurred to me, this shampoo is too thick for you to be trying to wash your locks with. Now, mind you, I was well over 9 months when I started using this. The stuff I was using before wasn't quite as thick, but it probably still needed to be diluted. So, I think it was about 1/3, maybe a little less than 1/3 gone. I added, I filled it up with a bottle of bottled water. I wanted distilled water, but all I had was a bottle of purified drinking water. So I used that, and it's so liquidy now. And I washed my hair with my new diluted formula once, and it was great. And I was just like, okay, I get it now. So, lesson learned, dilute your shampoo when, you know, at least in your first year. I don't know if that's a forever thing. Somebody comment below and let me know, you know, if you're a loctician or if you know, are very far along in your lock journey. Is diluting the shampoo like a starter lock thing, or is that like a as long as you're locked situation? I don't know. The other thing with shampooing is I recently bought this Suave Daily Clarifying Cleanser. This is a very big bottle. I very recently bought that, and I really wasn't using a clarifying shampoo before that. I started out using a Giovanni clarifying shampoo, but Giovanni is such a mild, gentle formula. It's great shampoo, but I stopped using that brand now that I'm locked. I may go back to it. I did love it as a loose natural, but I saw a lot of people using this Suave, and you know, Suave doesn't have the best ingredients, and so I was just like, no, I'm not using that. But I tried it because I couldn't find a clarifying shampoo, and this is the one that seemed to be pretty highly recommended. So I moseyed on down to Walmart or wherever I picked this up, and it was so ridiculously cheap. It was like $2 for 34 ounces. I haven't diluted this. Maybe I should. I think I only washed my hair with this once so far. But clarifying my hair, it was just very helpful. And so I knew that. I just wasn't doing that. And so my recommendation regarding shampooing will probably be a regimen along the lines of something like this. Wash your hair once a week, at least. One wash with some sort of moisturizing shampoo, kind of like the Shea Moisture one that is diluted. Y'all can hear that? Yeah, she's liquidy now. The second week, you might wash with a clarifying conditioner. So once a month with a clarifying shampoo. And whether or not you need to dilute that, I'm not sure. I guess it would make sense, but I'm still figuring that out. Once a month with a medicated shampoo, which I don't have one, but something like Sulfur 8, Selsun Blue, Head and Shoulders, Neutrogena, any kind of medicated shampoo that will kind of treat your scalp for anything that might be on it that might be causing itching, because a lot of people complain in their first year about excessive itching, especially those first 3 and 4, maybe even 6 months. Some people, I didn't experience that much or that long, but a lot of people do. So I would recommend a medicated shampoo. So that's I guess that regimen would be twice a month with your moisturizing shampoo, once a month with clarifying shampoo, and once a month with a medicated shampoo. Definitely dilute your moisturizing shampoo. I'm not sure if diluting a medicated shampoo would affect its efficacy, but I think if I were going to use one once a month, I wouldn't dilute it. I would focus on getting it on my scalp, or if I diluted it, it would be very, very little. And I would focus on getting it on my scalp, not so much my hair, and really massaging it into my scalp and letting it sit on my scalp, maybe with a plastic bag or not, while I wash my body, and then right before getting out of the shower, wash out the medicated shampoo. You might follow that up with your moisturizing shampoo. It just depends on what your hair needs are, so pay attention. So that's a lot about shampooing, but I do recommend washing at least once a week, braiding and banding, and diluting your thick moisturizing shampoos. Definitely get a good clarifying shampoo. I do like this so far, but I've only used it once. But you definitely need a clarifying shampoo in your routine. All right, I feel like I'm rambling. Let's move on. Number 4, you want to maintain a regular schedule of retying your hair. And that regular schedule needs to fall within a 4 to 6 week time frame. You probably do not want to interlock your hair sooner than 4 weeks. You need to give your hair enough time to grow enough that you can get maybe a full rotation-ish in. And then you don't want to extend too far beyond 6 weeks. And everyone's rate of hair growth is different, and how your hair does once it grows out. Everyone's different. But as a general rule, 4 to 6 weeks is a good time frame to make sure you're getting them in. What I have found in my first year as a DIY microlocker is when I allow my hair to grow out, and I wait beyond that 6 week mark to retie my roots, then yes, you lose parts, your roots start to intermarry. There becomes more of an issue with hair at the roots not seeming to belong to any lock in particular. Shorter hairs where you're like, did I lose a lot? Like patches of it. If you want to avoid stuff like that, maintain a regular schedule of keeping those locks in control. Because remember, during your first year, you are laying the foundation for your lock journey. You are training your locks. So I've noticed that people who palm roll tend to have smoother locks. People who just interlock and don't palm roll, like myself, tend to have more frizz. If I palm rolled, which I've thought about, is that joined together? What the heck? Yep, it's joined together. I'll take care of that later. I don't know how much of that frizz you can see, but I've thought about starting to add some palm rolling on the days that I interlock, wash, style, whatever, to see if I can start training the stray hairs to kind of incorporate themselves into the lock. It's all about training the hair. Afro textured hair, curly hair is used to doing what it wants to do, going any which way. You have to train it to go into the lock, to maintain that, cylinder or cylindrical shape. It's all about training the hair. And so part of that is keeping a regular schedule of retying your roots. showing your hair, you know, where to go. And I think, you know, within a year, that'll pay off. Don't get lazy. Don't take chances like myself. Learn from my mistakes. I'm not even sure what this is because I just retied my hair maybe 2 weeks ago. I guess it's going on 3. I'm not even sure why this is growing together like this. Like, what happened? I don't know. Let's move on. Okay, number 5. I would say embrace your journey as unique. Figure out your journey and your hair. That means while it's good and fun, and yes, I even recommend following other people's journeys, looking at people's videos on YouTube, whatever, you know, platform you like to consume information. You do want to limit and know when to limit. You know, you should be able to recognize within yourself when watching other videos is having an effect on you, an undesirable effect on you. So if you're watching videos where people have, you know, really long locks and your hair is really short and you really want long hair and, you know, you got to trust the process and you're doing everything you can to trust the process, it might be that you want to lay off of watching some of those videos that might have you pining for something more. And part of that, I guess, embracing your journey is learning your hair, giving yourself grace when you see, you know, roots growing together or, you know, budding and bunching and stuff that I was talking about that you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I want. Don't give up at the moment you feel like you perceive some sort of imperfection. Like, perfection is not the goal. I think that maybe a paradigm shift would benefit a lot of us, where we can, the same way we need to learn how to be comfortable in our own skin and not worry so much about how we compare with others. It's the same way with your hair journey, whether that's a natural hair journey, a curly hair journey, a lock journey, whatever your journey. You need to learn how to embrace you and accept you for who you are. And once you get off of, you know, that toxic comparison cycle and stop comparing yourself with others in a way that is unhealthy, and just take some time to focus on you and learning you. And I think that's one of the greatest things, one of the greatest benefits I got from going natural. And that's even before I locked my hair, just no longer chemically processing my hair to straighten it with a relaxer. Was learning how to love me for my DNA, you know, and how it expresses itself, and to truly be okay with that and find beauty in it. That is not something that happens overnight. If you're not there and you started a lock journey, your lock journey can be a part of that kind of self-actualization. But you have to give yourself grace. You have to trust the process. It takes time. Or, you know, you can end up like a lot of these people. You see people on here with a 2-day journey. You see people, you know, with a 1-year journey and then off with the locks, you know. Not that cutting off your locks means anything in particular. I'm just saying people who can't commit when that was their intention starting out, because they really weren't able to fully embrace. All right, listen, I'm philosophizing at this point. Is that a word? So my point is, you know, learn your hair, learn yourself, and learn to embrace your journey and find the beauty in that. And that'll change your life. Let's move on. And finally, number 6, the last thing that I want to share with you that I've learned so far in my 1-year DIY Microlock video is it is up to you to, let me say this and then clean it up, to teach others respect and cultural competency. Sometimes people out there in the marketplace, the workplace, you know, church place, family, whatever, are so culturally incompetent that they see someone with dreadlocks, you know, whatever kind of locks, and you would be surprised at things that come out of their mouths, policies that I live in Kentucky, policies that have been set, you know, for school systems about hairstyles that are not acceptable, i.e. locks. Like, do not allow people to put on you, you know, their negative perceptions and then you succumb to that. you have to help people come up. And I know some people might feel like, well, why is that my responsibility? They should know, da da da. You will live a much happier, healthier life if you just help people along. So when the ignorant comments come about your hair, well, why'd you do that? You had pretty hair. Why would you do that to your hair? Oh, but you're in corporate America. Oh, but you're a lawyer. Oh, you're a school teacher. You shouldn't. Whoa, watch your mouth. I say give people grace. You know, you don't have to be going off on people, you know, with the whole rotation of the neck and clocking and all of that. Although I understand the feeling of wanting to do that sometimes, I think the best thing to do is to help people along. And that's not necessarily sitting them down and having, you know, cultural competency 101, let's talk ethnic hair conversation. But sometimes in just the way you carry yourself, your poise, your grace, and not allowing yourself to, you know, kind of come under and succumb to that sort of criticism and negativity, but to carry yourself with poise. If a comment from you is required in response to something ignorant that was said, by all means. If not, sometimes a smile and going on about your business, enjoying your day, whatever the situation calls for. But, you know, there are societal views that are antiquated and very skewed, you know, about ethnic hair and what is acceptable and what is not. And I think that it's up to you to decide and to show, you know, what is beautiful, what is acceptable, what is professional, whatever. You guys, you feel me? Leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts about that and your experience and any tips and tricks you want to share with the family, with the community here about things you've learned in your first year as or second or third year as a DIY micro locker. Let us know. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time.
Yeah, we serve God around these parts. Alpha and Omega, he be finished before we start. The great I am, the one who let us know who we are. Christ the cardiologist created me a clean heart.